At a time when the Indian economy is facing a great deal of crisis, Nobel laureate Amartya Sen talks to NDTV about economic growth. This is also a time when it's turning out to be an enormous poll issue, and his remarks were that there was certainly something to learn.
How growth has become such a political hot potato in these elections and in this campaign, in a sense. You've talked about the Kerala growth model, but many have said that political reasons.
I don't talk about Kerala growth model. I talk about the Kerala growth example.
Well, Kerala growth example, but many have said that you support Kerala, whereas there's a whole school of thought led by Professor Bhagwati which supports the Gujarat model. And I made that point of how it's being pitted as the Rahul Gandhi versus Narendra Modi battle, the clash between Professor Bhagwati and you as well. Where do you actually stand on that? Do you see Gujarat as an example that you would cite as well for India, like you cited to Kerala?
Well, in terms of actual achievement of raising growth rate, becoming from being very poor state to being very rich, Kerala has clearly achieved more. Gujarat is very blessed in many ways. It has a strong business culture. It has a long tradition. Many of the Indian industrialists have been from Gujarat. And Modi has done a lot for the business too, there's no question. In terms of business administration, he provides a lot, a cleaner government for business, more roads, physical infrastructure. Where the fault there lies is ignoring social infrastructure, which has always been, or not always, but recently been, a point where Gujarat is behind. And the education thing, gender equity, and healthcare thing, the many states, not only Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Himachal Pradesh, but even a number of other states which you beat Gujarat there. Now, I think, what does it mean? Means that is there nothing to learn from Gujarat? Of course there is something to learn, because if there is a clean administration for business, which is helpful for business, which is needed for economic growth and expansion, and growth is important. Should we not learn from it just because he's not doing the other thing? No, there's no reason why we shouldn't learn from it. Similarly, if there's Kerala, they're doing things on education and healthcare, which has brought in big results and can bring in more for the rest of India as well. Should we not learn from it? Because Kerala used to have, when I was first writing about it, enormous red tapes and still have quite a bit. No, it's a question of learning. We even quote one of the right-wing angels is meant to be Milton Friedman. We quote Milton Friedman in our book, saying that he said that India was neglecting education and healthcare. It was putting too much emphasis on physical capital and too little on human capital. This he was saying 40, 50 years ago. I think there are things to learn. There are things to learn from Lee Kuan Yew. Even though I would rather have a democratic Indian kind of system, but things to learn from the way to treat the minorities, to generate some security. And Gujarat model might learn something about that, on that subject, from Mr. Lee Kuan Yew. But that doesn't mean I have to support Mr. Lee Kuan Yew and everything else. I think the great thing is, one, as a free human being, free to think, not being attributed views, but think for yourself and hope that people want to attribute views should first read before they write. I can learn from any place I do, including Gujarat, and it doesn't prevent me from saying there's some of the bigger lessons in Kerala.